Remember now, he's still dangerous. He's still dangerous because the time is coming. The whole end is coming when I'm going to take care of him permanently. But I haven't done that yet. Now watch this. Watch this. First fruit of those who have fallen asleep. That is those who have died. Now watch this. For since by man came death. I told you we're going to run over that just for a second. By man also came resurrection of the dead. That is to say, Adam was the cause of all of the death that you've ever seen because he disobeyed God. Are you listening to me? In Adam, his descendants died. In Jesus, his descendants are made alive. Are y'all listening to me? And the wonderful thing about it, we who are in Jesus, once we get our glorified bodies, we see that maybe the next time. But watch this. Once we get our glorified bodies, death can't touch us. You got that? As a matter of fact, nothing will be able to touch us. Satan can't touch us. His demons can't touch us once we receive our glorified bodies. Are you listening to me when I talk like that? Now watch this. Watch this. For since by man came death, and we're going to turn over and see how death came in. By man also came the resurrection of the dead. For as in Adam all died. So you get that. That means we were discussing with the professor at Christian Theological Seminary when I was working on my master's program. We were discussing with him. He said, yes, he said, everybody say that everybody's going to die. He said, how do you know that? Everybody went quiet. How do you know that everybody died? You don't know everybody. You haven't seen everybody. There's some people that live over in jungles that don't even know that people exist other than themselves. How do you know that everybody's going to die? Well, let me tell you how I know it. I don't have to meet anybody. Let me show you how I know it. For as in Adam, all died. Somebody say amen. Huh? You know how I know it? I know it because Jesus said it. Now, somebody said, Jesus didn't say that, Reverend. Paul said that. But don't you know that Jesus Christ, when he saved Paul, he took Paul out in Arabia for 14 years and taught Paul some things that Peter didn't even know, that John didn't know, that James didn't know, or Philip didn't know, that Thomas didn't know, that Thaddeus didn't know, and the other James didn't know, and Judas didn't know, and Matthew didn't. Are y'all listening to me? He taught Paul all that stuff. And Jesus told him to speak and speak with courage, and he did. And he just telling us right here, for as in Adam all died. So you can just know you're going to die. If you got a loved one living, they ain't going to live forever like this unless Jesus Christ comes first and don't tarry in heaven. We all going to die. Now, Sister Golden, y'all have to forgive Sister Golden. Because Sister Golden told me that if I die, and my wife told me too, that said if I die, she's going to be 90 years old in December. I'm going to be 80 this month. And she told me I got to live at least 10 years because she's going to make it to 100. And she told me that if I die before she does, she's going to kill me. Well, I don't know. Let me tell you, there are some things that are actually keeping me alive. And I know you ain't going to believe me when I tell you this. Watch this. I know artificially dialysis is keeping me alive. Right? Then you might say, well, your wife and the love of your family keeping you alive. They supply me good support. Right? So they may be keeping me alive a little bit longer. When you get real good support physically, that helps to keep you alive, but that's not the primary reason. I'm going to tell you what's keeping me alive. I honored my mother. Did y'all hear me? Now watch me now. Watch me now. God said, if you honor your father and your mother, watch this now. Huh? On this earth, I'll make you longer and I'll make you prosper. Now, what is he saying? I just told a lady today or either yesterday about this same thing. The way she's dealing with her mother. I told her, let me tell you what that means. I think it means this right here. It doesn't mean that you're not going to die early. Pay attention. You might be 50. You might die at 55. You might be 50. You might die at 80. You might be 50. You might die at 100 if you honor your parents like you're supposed to. Now watch this. Somebody said, well, if I honor my parents and I die at 55 and 60, I ain't died. I ain't lived long. Well, listen to me carefully. What God is saying is this here. You're going to live longer than you were going to live. Otherwise, Providence say you're going to die at 40, but you make it to 60. Are y'all listening to me? You see, grace overrules justice and providence. Come on here. Are you listening to me? That's the reason most of us are still alive in here, because grace said, Daddy, look, Daddy, come on now, Daddy. Come on now, Daddy. You know I went to that cross. No, not yet, Daddy. I honored my mother, and let me tell you this right here. I picked my mother up from Sis' house and Frida's house when I was sick as a dog. Never mentioned it to anybody but my wife. Went back and got her. Watch this. Never, since I've been saved, have I raised my voice at my mother. Not one time did I raise my voice. When you raise your voice at your parents, that's, watch out, you are dishonoring them. You don't do that. And it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter. You are dishonoring your parents, and you're taking away your time on earth. Are y'all listening to me? I honored her. She would call me Sis. She was living with Sis, or she living with Frida, because they alternating. They did. Sis and Frida did a wonderful job with my mother, with our mother. She'll call me, and sometimes I'll be just coming out of a funeral back then, and Mama will call me and say, Rip. That's what she used to call me, Rip. She'd say, would you go get me a fish sandwich? And I said, of course I will, Mama. She said, you got something you have to do? I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to get Red Meadow to go out to the funeral home with them as I'm on my way. And I did Mama that. Every time she would call me about whatever it was, I was there. And Mama did some things. Sometimes, one time I told you about, she called me a black nigger. Cause she'll speak a word. She'll speak a words. Told me, Red Meadows told me, she said, call me up and told me to bring her something to eat. I brought her something to eat. And she told me, she said, Rip, come in here. And I came in and she said, my back is itching like crazy. Scratch my back. And so I started scratching her back, right? Now, that's probably been 25 years ago. When I was a powerful man, I was real strong then. And I was scratching Mama's back. Mama said, come on, scratch it back. You ain't scratching it hard enough. And I started scratching it a little harder. And she said, you got more strength than that. Scratch my back, boy. Well, that's Mama talking to me. I can't say nothing back. You see what I'm saying? So I said, okay, Mama. I said, okay. And I did it again. This time I put a little power on it. She said, would you? I said, okay, Mama, I'm going to scratch your back. I said, okay. Boom, boom, boom. She said, ah! What you trying to do to me, you black nigga? She said, I said, that's the reason I didn't want to scratch your back. You going to say that about me, Mama? I didn't holler at her. Never cursed her. Never, and did everything she asked me to do if I could have done it. Now watch this. That's one of the reasons I didn't die in intensive care. I was in intensive care a month, and watch this. And half the time, I didn't even know where I was. Y'all listening to me? And in the darkness of my sleep, I encountered Satan and I encountered demons. Are you listening to me? And they was trying their best to kill me, and I told some of you about that. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know anything from anything. Only thing I knew was that I kept calling for Jesus. Nobody could hear me call because I was in the deep of my depth. And Jesus Christ, came in and walked right up in front of me. Never did show me his face. And he was walking kind of fast. And I was walking, trying to keep up with him, but I was behind him. And he kept telling me, come on, you can do it. Come on, come on. And I was putting all the strength I could muster to keep up with him, but I wasn't keeping up with him. And I was just slowly falling behind, slowly falling behind. And I kept calling for him because those demons kept hitting me and hitting me and hitting me. And I didn't know whether to give up or keep walking or whatever else was going on when I was down in that. Wherever I was, Jesus stopped, turned a little bit like this here. He said, come on, they don't know who I am. And kept walking. And just when I got at the end of my strength, I couldn't make it. I started crying in there, and I kept telling Jesus, wait on me. And Jesus said, I can't wait on you. Otherwise, I think he was telling me it wasn't time for me to die. Are you listening to me? And when Jesus said, they don't know who I am, he said, watch this. And suddenly all of them go, boom. And Jesus walked all the way from me. And when he was walking away, I said, where's my wife? I've been looking after her for so long, she's got to go with me. And when I stepped out there in the open, I said, look at this. And there she was, standing over there, grinning, showing everything, all the teeth that she got and the teeth that she ain't got. And I'm living now because of Jesus. Because of the Lord, I'm alive. Might die tonight, but he gave me some extra time because I honored my parents. Would you believe my daddy was, and I told you, my daddy was a Rolling Stone. I told myself I'm going to stop saying that about daddy. But he didn't mind me telling when he was alive. I've never raised my voice at my daddy. I've never cursed my daddy. Are y'all listening to me? Wanted to. Sometimes. Never did. And God is keeping his promise that your, watch out now, life be longer on this earth, and that he's going to prosper you. And he has prospered me. And he has kept me. And I'll be 80 years old this month if he let me live. And I say amen to that. I say amen to that. Thank God. Now, I know I interjected that, but next time we come back, we're going to come back on this 5 minutes to 8. We're going to come back and we're going to take a look at Adam and Eve. And what I want to show you is, watch this, just a very, very, listen to me so you can understand where we're going to come from. And I want you to read that chapter again. Watch this. I'm going to show you something that is very, very, very insignificant for Adam and Eve, and today very, very insignificant for us, but it'll get you in trouble with the Lord if you don't handle it appropriately. Are y'all listening? Okay, I'm done. Okay, now, let's bow our heads.